Welcome back. Tech Revolution activates annual technology and media outlook report forecasts the most important trends to watch for 2019, highlighting transformations from e-commerce to smart cameras, even sports betting. The report finds Americans will spend an additional 11 minutes a day, every day, with tech and media by the year 2022, bringing the total time per day spent with technology to 12 hours, 32 minutes. Joining me right now is the founder and writer of that report, Activate founder and CEO Michael Wolff. Michael, it's great to see you.
Great to be here.
Thank you so much. Before we get to the report, your thoughts on what's happening with this tech wreck. You see companies like Amazon, Facebook, Netflix falling out of bed as people worry about growth. Any thoughts?
Well, I mean, first of all, they've lost cumulative over the last 6 weeks. They've lost about $700 billion in value. And so they drove the market up and they're driving the market down. There's a bunch of things that are concerning people. One of them is privacy and what's happened with Facebook in the last couple, and really in the last couple of weeks. The other is, of course, security. And there's also concern, like how much more growth can they go through? I believe that these companies are going to continue to grow. I think that the biggest Black Friday bargain is Amazon, because Amazon's going to continue to grow. They're going to continue to add a lot of revenue. And I don't think that Facebook's privacy problems are really going to have much of an impact on revenue. I mean, they may have, people may delete the app, but with 2 billion users, advertisers are hooked on Facebook.
You would think that's where the growth is in the economy. So, you know, we're seeing an investor reaction. But really, when you look at the growth of what's happening, that's what you're writing about. Let's talk about your outlook report. The report's finding that we're spending more and more time on technology. What struck you most about this year's report?
I think there are a couple of things. One of them is smart cameras, that the average American within 3 years is going to have 12 smart cameras in their home. So we're talking about things like the Ring camera, others cameras in their kitchens that help them really cook, the camera on your car. And what's fascinating, as much as you might think people are worried about privacy, in reality, all of our research shows that the people who are the most worried about privacy are the most likely to buy a smart camera or own one.
Well, a smart camera is what? Like that I could pull up the cameras on my phone, which a lot of people can do right now with their alarm systems. But the cameras talk to each other.
The cameras talk to each other, and it's not just the camera that talks to you. It's the people within neighborhoods are linking together their cameras. And they're looking at Ring, for example, from Amazon, has an app that allows you to look at what's going on in your neighborhood and report things.
Wow.
A lot of it's going into the processing around using AI. You know what's going on, but you also can do a bunch of things that are predicting. The camera in your kitchen that helps you cook. It's going to be amazing what we're going to see.
So the cameras talking to each other, and that's forming an intelligent network.
An intelligent network, but so it's not just the cameras in your home, it's that the cameras in the car. So they go together, so all the cars can talk to each other. They can talk to the cameras on light poles. They can talk to the camera on your phone. We're going to see a lot more intelligence in the network, and it's going to enable things like self-driving cars.
What about e-commerce? Let's talk there, because e-commerce growth dollars will surpass physical growth dollars from $3 trillion to $6 trillion, you write, by 2022.
This year is the inflection point. And so we've got e-commerce dollars that are growing about 20%. We've got physical retail, which continues to grow, but only around 2%. So we're going to see consumers are going to be buying a lot more. And then we've got, if you look at the biggest companies, the biggest is Alibaba. It's followed by Amazon. Then you go JD.com, and then you've got eBay, and all of them are going to continue to see growth. What's fascinating is they're all marketplaces. They're really not. They're not actually holding inventory. They're just selling other people's stuff.
That's fascinating, actually. All right, online betting is another item that's highlighted in the report. Online sports betting projected the industry to explode from $6 billion to $119 billion.
For $119 billion, a lot of it is money that was illegally bet, and now is going to be coming online. This is all the big tech companies are going to benefit, as well as the sports leagues and esports, and by the way, even the enterprise companies like Oracle. So it's going to end up being, within 3 years, about $35 billion in incremental revenue for tech and media, none of which is there today. So it really reflects my optimism for these stocks and the growth in these companies.
So where is the growth? When you look at this whole space of technology and media, What do you think are the most important growth takeaways that we should understand about where this industry is going?
So I think that we're still going to see a lot of advertising going from traditional media into these companies, where it's certainly going to be e-commerce. It's going to be new devices like the smart camera, still more home speakers. And then finally, we're going to see a lot of video out there. It's not just Netflix, and it's Amazon, it's Hulu, so many of these companies.
Even Apple.
It's Apple.
They're starting a streaming service.
They're starting a streaming service. I'm not convinced that Apple is truly going to be a competitor to these others. But YouTube with Google is already, they're already starting YouTube Premium. And so in each case, it's new revenue streams coming in. I mean, betting is going to be enormous, and we don't see this today in anybody's P&L.
Do you see new policies, regulations putting a hamper on any of this? I mean, the growth stories are still in place, and yet these stocks are falling out of bed because I think some people are worried about regulation because these companies keep getting more powerful and more powerful.
It's not clear that regulation can do much. I mean, I would call myself a technology determinist, which is anything people can do with technology, they're going to do. So there can be regulations, but these industries are different. They're not like telecom where you're regulating a pipe. So there's going to be some things, I think, that Facebook and others are going to identify where advertisements come from, because there is this concern about people hacking elections, and it's not just foreigners, it's foreign companies or governments, it's also within the country.
Yeah.
But I'm not convinced there's going to be a lot of regulation. The main thing is going to be the antitrust concerns, and that the Time Warner merger ultimately has gone through, and a lot of that isn't just about concerns about monopolies and control. A lot of it's just political.
You doubt, I mean, I would expect that this is not going to impact the innovation story, because the innovation story is very much in place. I mean, the things that you've just brought up in terms of your report show real innovation, whether it's smart cameras, the online betting, or e-commerce.
Artificial intelligence is going to be a massive enabler across most of these industries. I think we're going to see a great deal more functionality. Even the phones, we're at a point where the phone has gotten very sophisticated. What you can do with the phone is going to continue to grow and continue to play a bigger part in people's lives. And there's a lot of money that's going to flow from other places that hasn't been there.
All right, we will leave it there. Michael, it's great to see you.
Great to be here.
Thank you so much. Congratulations on another fantastic report. Michael Wolff, founder of Activate. We'll see you soon, Michael.